Hello, welcome back to the vlog. Oh, I love saying that. It's the only normality in my life at the moment. I feel like I'm just gonna tell you wee facts. I was gonna make a video of me actually studying, but I couldn't sit down long enough with a camera and study at the same time. Like, I was just getting twitchy and annoyed, so I'm just gonna go through like my 5 kind of top tips at the moment for studying at home. A lot of people don't have exams anymore, they've just got assignments, but I have exams because I'm a law student, so I need to study, sadly. The first thing that I've been doing, this is like not necessarily a study based tip, but this is something that I am literally like obsessed with at the moment. I drink a gallon of water a day, and that sounds so stupid because you're like, what does that have to do with studying? But since I've started drinking a gallon of water every day, I started it in about February and I've done it pretty much almost every day. I am so much more awake like when I'm studying. It's so much easier for me to focus. I don't feel like I don't get as much headaches. I usually get headaches when I study for too long. I've not been getting a lot of headaches now that I've been drinking so much water, which is probably just dehydration, but also at the same time it's great. So I'd really recommend sitting down, getting yourself a water. I also don't drink tea or coffee. Like, that's nothing to do with studying, I just don't like it. So drinking water for me is a good way for me to kind of wake up, in the sense that I know a lot of people drink a coffee in the morning or tea. I prefer water. But that's the first thing I'd recommend, is getting yourself a drink of something before you go to sit down and study, because that makes a huge difference for me anyway. Tip number 2 is one that so many people have been talking about, like not even just in like studying, but in the sense of daily life when you're in lockdown like this, is basically to get a routine. I cannot tell you what the perfect routine is, because I do not have a perfect routine. I just have a routine that works for me, even if it's not probably the most efficient routine. But I have developed a semi-nocturnal attitude. But anyway, we just work with it, work with the flow. So it's setting a routine. So then I kind of spend the next hour until like 2 p.m-ish just sitting, getting my lunch, brunch, my breakfast, lunch, because I've slept through them both essentially. I kind of put a few things together if I've got other things I want to do in the morning. So for example, I bought a Nintendo Switch, like a wee light one, when I was in isolation. Woo! But yeah, so pretty much just get a routine. I kind of don't study like all in one go. I'll do like 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, half an hour here, half an hour there, simply because I don't have a good attention span, especially when I'm at home. Like, I find it so easy to get distracted by nothing, in the sense there's nothing going on and I find distractions in that. My third tip is definitely to not get muddled up with your emails. This is something that I've been getting a bit driven insane by. I have been getting a lot of emails from all of my different module coordinators and tutors, etc., about different things, and at first I wasn't really paying attention to my emails, and then I kind of got confused in the sense that classes were being moved online to accommodate different things. Things weren't on, things were on, extra classes were on, extra classes were off. Assignments had changed, word counts have changed, guidance came out for exams. So I'd really recommend just staying on top of your emails, staying on top of all communication from your modules, just making sure that you know exactly what's going on with your modules to the best of your ability. I know that a lot of people still aren't 100% sure what's going on with some other things, but if you've been told it, make sure you know it. That's one thing I feel like I've had to kind of come to terms with pretty quickly on this, because I'm useless at checking my emails usually. The fourth tip I'd say is definitely to not get, like, don't overwork yourself. I think it's so much easier for not just studying, but for people who are working from home, etc., to push themselves too far when they're doing, for example, in uni you'd have like maybe a class that you'd have to stop studying and go to, or you'd have other things that you had on, like a club, a sport, or just meeting your friends or something. Whereas here it's kind of, there's nothing to do but be in the house and entertain yourself, and sometimes that does mean you're working for hours because you feel like you've got nothing else to do. But you do need to take a break, you do need to set yourself working hours in the day. Like for me, I don't like to study anything after 8 p.m. I can't. I know that there's no benefit of me picking up a book or opening a lecture after 8 p.m. because I just know I can't do it. So you've got to set, I'd really recommend like setting yourself hours so you don't overwork yourself. And also setting hours so you don't underwork, because I know the past week or so that I've been quite demotivated, so I haven't been doing as much as I probably should, but now that I've kind of given myself like a time frame in mind, it's so much easier to stick to. yeah, the fifth thing I'd probably recommend, if you've got one subject to do, this won't apply to you, but because I'm doing 3 modules at the moment, I don't like to do one module a day. I feel like you don't retain as much as you think you're going to retain. So for example, I like to do like an hour media law, an hour jurisprudence, and an hour mergers and acquisitions, and then switch it up a bit maybe afterwards. But I like to make sure I cover at least one thing from all 3 topics a day, just so I feel like I'm getting a break from other topics. For example, I love media law. Media law is one of my favourite topics. I really enjoy it, I'm really engaged with it. I do like mergers and acquisitions. Out of the 3, jurisprudence is probably my least favourite, just because it's more theory and stuff, and I'm not a huge fan of theories. So it's just kind of finding that balance of where I'm not going to go into a full day of jurisprudence and just dread it all. You've got to have a positive attitude, I think, towards what you're studying. And if you're not in a positive, like, I can do this mindset, you're not going to get as much done, in my opinion. Anyway, I don't like to speak for others. People know me, I have the weirdest studying talents, studying habits ever, so don't judge. So those are like my kind of basic study tips. They're just things that I've been kind of doing when I've been in my house and like with my fam and stuff. And my door's open now, as you can see, as it was closed at the start of the video. I don't like to study in my room either, that's another thing. I do it when like other people are using the tables in our house, but I do think it's great to get studying somewhere that's not your room, like a dining room or the lounge or the kitchen, just anywhere as long as you have not your bed, because I like to see if you're sitting up when you're doing studying, you're not gonna get distracted as easy, so I feel like that's important. Something else, this is not a tip, this is so weird, I also like to wear my shoes when I'm doing work. I like to put on a pair of shoes because it makes me feel like I've got to, like I'm going somewhere, like I've got a purpose. So yeah, that is my top tips for studying. If you've got any, drop them in the comments below. Let us know how you are studying, how you are planning, what you've been up to, what you've been doing in quarantine / lockdown. Yeah, so, and I will see you later.